In this second video, we're going to have a look at an example of a genetic problem and how alleles can segregate to produce different variations of a gene. So, here we're told that a homozygous straight-haired man and a heterozygous straight-haired woman have children. Show all possible combinations and in what proportions their children could be for hair shape. Now, firstly, we're always going to write out what our alleles are and how we're going to represent them. So, capital S equals straight, and again, small s equals curly. And next we want to know, what are the combinations of genes that the parents have? Now, we're told that the father is homozygous and has straight hair. Therefore, he has two of the same gene, or the same allele, I should more correctly say, that produces straight hair. We're told that the mother is heterozygous, so she must have one of each allele. So she is capital S and small s. Now, what offspring can they produce? Now, in their gametes, only one of either of the letters is passed on to their offspring. The father passes on one of those two letters in his sperm cell, and the mother passes on one of the capital S or the small s in the egg. And it's totally random which one of those two alleles are passed on. If the father in his sperm cell passes on a capital S, which he must, then that allele is in that particular sperm cell. The other S will always be in another sperm cell. The mother, however, can pass on either a capital S, or she could pass on a lowercase s for curly hair. And so that is going to result in children who are either carrying two alleles for straight hair, capital S, or they are carrying a capital S and a lowercase s, in which case they also have straight hair, but they are carriers for curly hair. Let's look at another example using a Punnett square this time, which we're going to see a lot more of in the future. A heterozygous straight-haired man and a heterozygous straight-haired woman have children. Show all possible combinations and in what proportions their children could be. Again, we write our alleles out and they don't change. Capital S equals straight, lowercase s equals curly. We're told that the father is heterozygous, so he is capital S, lowercase s, and the mother is also heterozygous, so she is capital S and lowercase s. Now I've drawn a Punnett square, which simply is a grid or a table over which we can place each one of the alleles, and we place the father's alleles on one side of the Punnett square and the mother's alleles on the other. So in this case, I'm putting the capital S from the father above the top cell, the lowercase s from the father above the second cell, the mother's capital S on the left-hand side of the first cell, and the mother's small s allele on the lower cell on the left-hand side. And next we need to work out how they combine. And it's simply a matter of, in the first cell, we get a capital S and a capital S from each side of the cell. In the second cell, we combine a capital S and a small s. In the third cell, it's going to be exactly the same as previous, a capital S from the top, a small s from the side. Now, it doesn't matter whether you put the small s first and the capital S second, or the capital S first and the small s second. The same combination of those letters will produce the same phenotype. And in the final cell, two lowercase s's. And this produces 1 times capital S, a straight-haired homozygous offspring. We're going to have 2 lots of capital S lowercase s, which again is straight-haired but heterozygous, and 1 lots of 2 lowercase s, which is going to produce a curly-haired offspring. And these are your typical Mendelian ratios. Those are the genotypes, I should say. And the phenotypes, how they look, we have a ratio of 3 straight-haired children to 1 curly-haired child, which we could also express as 75% of the offspring have straight hair, 25% have curly hair. Now we'll look at a few more examples in the next video so we become more comfortable with solving these types of problems.